On the surface, Godspeed and King Kull belong to opposite sides of the comic book universe. But both characters are fascinating in their own right, teach the embodiment of unique powers, distinct motivations, and broader themes that reflect the worlds they inhabit. So what happens when you pit Godspeed, the ruthless speedster, from DC Comics' Flash mythology, against King Kull, the ancient conqueror and archenemy of DC's Shazam? Well, to answer that, we first have to look at who they are, where they come from, and what sets them apart. Godspeed, known as August Hart in his civilian identity, is a relatively recent addition to the pantheon of speedsters. Introduced in the Flash comics in 2016, August is a former police detective in Central City. Deeply driven by the murder of his brother and a burning desire for justice that over time curdles into a vendetta. When struck by a Speed Force lightning storm, a phenomenon that births many of DC's speedsters, August gains super speed. Unlike the iconic Barry Allen, however, Godspeed's moral compass swiftly becomes compromised. Frustrated by criminals escaping justice, he decides to exact his own brand of lethal retribution, seeing himself as judge, jury, and executioner. Where most speedsters are defined by restraint, Godspeed is fearsome precisely because he does not hold back. His signature white and gold suit is emblematic of his radical approach, purity of purpose, masking deadly intent. Godspeed's mastery of the Speed Force enables him not just to run at mind-boggling velocities, but also to create duplicates of himself and even siphon the speed from other speedsters, a rare and dangerous power few can counter. On the other end is King Kull, who predates Godspeed by decades. King Kull first appeared in 1943 and was introduced as a prehistoric monarch belonging to the Subman. It's an ancient, advanced race that ruled the Earth before humans. King Kull resurfaces in the modern era with patience, intellect, and a deep-seated contempt for humanity, whom he considers inferiors, who stole the world from him. As an adversary of Shazam and the Marvel family, King Kull's power lies not in raw speed, but in superhuman strength, cunning intelligence, and mastery of advanced ancient technology. His ability to wage psychological as well as physical warfare makes him a dangerous foe fan, leading armies or assembling supervillain coalitions to achieve his goals. So what would a clash between Godspeed and King Kull look like? At first glance, speed seems the ultimate advantage. Godspeed could in theory assault King Kull before the ancient villain even perceives the threat. But King Kull is not a conventional brute. His long lifespan and deep experience with magical and scientific artifacts mean he rarely enters conflicts unprepared. In many stories, King Kull harnesses devices that neutralize superpowers, disrupt magical energies, or manipulate perception. His strategic mind is always 2 steps ahead, laying traps that exploit his opponent's weaknesses. If Godspeed were to confront King Kull directly, the results would largely depend on the circumstances. In an open arena, Godspeed could outpace, outmaneuver, and potentially incapacitate Kull before most defenses could deploy. Godspeed's ruthless efficiency would serve him well, unlike Barry Allen. He might strike lethally, aiming to end the fight quickly. However, overconfidence has been Godspeed's undoing before. Kull's greatest asset is anticipation and his adaptability, encyclopedic knowledge of lost sciences, and willingness to use any resource to achieve victory. Suppose King Kull had time to plan, perhaps learning of Godspeed's existence through one of his magical surveillance techniques. Given warning, Kull could prepare speed-dampening fields, create illusions, or even ally himself with other enemies of the Flash family. In this scenario, Godspeed's speed is not an instant win button. History in comics often shows that when speedsters face foes who meddle with time, space, or perception itself, their powers become liabilities, forcing them into situations where quick thinking must accompany quick movement. Kull excels at creating exactly these conditions. Their philosophies, too, stand in stark contrast. Godspeed is motivated by the pursuit of a twisted justice. His mission is personal, his vendetta tightly focused. King Kull's ambitions, by comparison, are grandiose, nothing less than the subjugation or destruction of humankind. These men are mirror images in a way, each convinced of his own righteousness, each willing to use overwhelming power to impose his vision on the world. In the end, the victor, in a Godspeed versus King Kull confrontation, would not merely be decided by strength or speed. It would hinge on who can best exploit the others. Weakness is Godspeed's tendency toward impatience, or Kull's reliance on planning and technological superiority. The clash would be a contest of ingenuity as much as raw ability. Ultimately, such a battle highlights one of the enduring elements of comic book storytelling: the struggle between and sometimes within power and purpose. Each of these characters reveals something about what it means to wield extraordinary abilities, and what happens when those gifts are aimed at the world's frailties. Whether you side with the relentless Speedster or the ancient warlord, one thing is certain: the story would be one for the ages.